Masapayam nawa hawat ahayawa yoshaya bahala shawan kadatsa kwanawa manya ha shamayam atla walam yam ha yasha waha aba shaba yatha afnawa kawahagawayam la akabaya kaya anathan ha tawarala yaikwa la kaham la kaama abalata atatazadakula shamai hatawabdaba kaya zazaba I am la I shad hawa Yahawa shapa Aiza ayam shapaya Aba awatya shawa La abada pasha atya awatya Baba kwasha aiwa para Hadra La agawrai la nawabaya anawabaya tha Nawaya dai ha ama wanawada waha aiwagla ha kwataza Payamba ayam Payamba ayam Taza dak la shawat koya Payamba ayam Payamba ayam Payamba ayam Halau na isha hawa akaya Payamba ayam Payamba ayam Payamba ayam Taza dak la shawat koya Payamba ayam
Today's topic, Shabbat, which is Sabbath versus Saturday. Shabbat, which is the Sabbath day, worship versus Saturday. Okay. Today we're gonna get a better understanding of how you hold a Sabbath day, which is Shabbat day, according to the World Sabbath day. Okay. For people that don't know, people that want to know the truth and want to get an understanding, today we're going to teach the ordainance of the Sabbath day, which is a part of our book of law. Like I said, there's a lot of Israelites that just waking up. A lot of us still asleep that still want to just hear, say what Sabbath mean, what Shabbat mean, this, that, whatever. So I'm here to break that down to you guys today, the meaning of it and simplicity. Not nothing hard to be entreated. It's easy to be entreated. Okay, I will give it to you in the simplicity mode. Okay, not in a mode like I'm throwing out chunks of meat to you guys. Okay, the Sabbath is the Sabbath day of the number 7. Okay. The Sabbath day of the number 7. The Bible always counts its days, okay? Number 1, 2, 3, all the way to the Sabbath day, okay? And Sabbath is a completion. When how you created everything, he rested on the Sabbath day. That was completion. That was sanctification of that holy day, okay? We have all the number of days, but this day is the holiest day, which is the Sabbath day. We have days of the week, which is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, all the way up to the Sabbath day, which is the holy day, okay? The Sabbath is the sign between Ahaya and Yasharala. His name is separated, just like the days. Ahaya's name is the holiest than everything that's named. Kodash in Hebrew means set apart, okay? Kodash means holy, okay? So Ahaya's name is separated, it's set apart. So Ahaya gave all these days, Monday, Tuesday, where the world said that, first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day. He gave all these days, but all those days not holy. Even though these are good days, he created these days, but he still sanctified one day. That's the same thing with his name. He gave us many names. He gave everybody names. He named all the prophets. But he sanctified this one holy name. That's what Kodash means. That's what separation means. It's only one separation of holiness, okay? From uncleanness, okay? Some say of Yahshua, I know you Christians, of the Gentiles, you hear us say, Shabbat Shalom, meaning Shabbat peace, which is Shabbat just separate means Sabbath. Okay, that's what it means. Separate Sabbath. It means Sabbath. When you say Shabbat Shalom, some people say Shabbat, Sabbath. It all means the same thing. It means that Sabbath day. Okay. Now Saturday is the name of a pagan worship of Saturn, and all the days named are pagan worship. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All these are worship of other nation gods. Okay. But today we're gonna break down all this stuff to you guys. Like I said, simplicity. Because if somebody brought this to my attention when I was asleep and I was not woke, when I was a Christian, this and that, whatever, I would have loved to say, okay, I have an understanding of where you guys are coming from, what you guys are saying, because you're edifying and showing this stuff in Scripture, okay? But again, my sanctuary is not facing east anymore, so we're gonna stand up to a prayer. I like to always let Ahaya Cheyenne first of all, and let the Holy Spirit, our Kodash, our Holy Mother, come in and bless us on this day of this set apart day. We're going to stand and say a prayer facing the east. In the name of Hayat Sayyid Mashak, his holy name. Dear Heavenly Father, Ahayashai Masha. Bless this day, Heavenly Father, as you already have. Bless me, Heavenly Father, advance this message. Yasharala, Heavenly Father, scatter forth on the earth, Heavenly Father. Strengthen me this day, Father, forevermore. In the name of Son, Shai Masha, so be it. All praise to Ahayashai Masha, so be it. Okay, family. Today's topic, Shabbat, which is Sabbath versus Sabbath. Okay. I do have a presentation I want you guys to see. Before we get into the class today, because the presentation says a lot, and I like to give you guys all I can give you to have an understanding on. I do have people ask me questions. What are you talking about? What does this mean? Is that well? And I'm like scratching my head and say, huh? But I said, well, you watch the video, you'll understand where I'm coming from. But I don't think I do it real hard. I don't think I throw meat at people. I think I do it simple for people to learn. But I do have this presentation. Watch this presentation. And when we come back, we're going to carry on with the class today. All right. Family, this is the practice of worshiping of idols and worshiping of days of the week. Okay, by we ignorant worship every day, Monday through Sunday. Okay, and it reads, we're online, and it reads, while the origin of the 7-day cycle are often linked to celestial observation, religious traditions, and agricultural practices, the names of days themselves reflect on fascinating interplay of mythology and astronomy and linguistic evolutions. So family, this is letting us know that this is the origin of the 7-day cycle that they gave us, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this is a form of worship, okay? It's a form of worship, family. So we're going to go to some pictures to show you about this form of worship. All right, the names of the days of the week, okay? The names, okay? Monday, day of the moon. Tuesday, day of Tri, god of war. Wednesday, day of Arden, ruler of the gods, right? Thursday, day of Tor, god of thunder. Friday, day of the fig, goddesses of love, right? Says Saturday, day of Saturn, a Roman father god. Sunday, day of sun, worshiping the sun. So family, this is how we've been in seed worshiping all these days. Like people go around and say happy Sunday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy this and that, this and that. But our Father gave us numbers. He never gave us names of days, okay? Let's keep going. Okay, 7 planners of the week. Again, remember what I showed earlier about Sunday, worship the sun, Sunday. Monday, worshiping the moon. Tuesday, Mars. Wednesday, Mercury. Thursday, Jupiter. Friday, Venus. Saturday, Saturn. So this is what we're doing, family. We're ignorant worshiping these planets by every day saying happy Monday, thanks Monday. That's a whole day of worship, okay? Taken from a higher. Like a higher said, his Sabbath day, his Shabbat day is holy. That's the only day that we should worship. It's not well. These are days of worship. Out of ignorance, we do it, okay? And simply, family, all you have to do is go online. Simply go online. Type into origin of the 7-day cycle, or often linked to celestial observation. Okay, but I got a scripture I'm gonna read according to this. The Bible, highest warned us about this. We're in Jeremiah 10:1, and it reads, "He the word which Ahai is speaking to you, O house of Yasharala." Now, Ahai is separated from the world. He's talking to Yasharala only. He's not talking to the other nation. He's talking to the nation, us against the other nation. Hear the word which Ahai is speaking to you, O house of Yasharala. Thus says Ahai, learn not the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So he's telling you the heathen's going to be dismayed of the signs of heaven, okay? He says, for the custom of the people are vain. So Ahai warned us about the custom of the heathens are vain. So we're going to go back to the class, and on this topic today is Shabbat versus Saturday. Shabbat versus Saturday. Okay, family, I pray that you guys got some out of that. Again, like I said, I pray that with simplicity for everybody to understand that, okay? But we're going to go into Spar Yard Book. We're going to go to Genesis, family. We're going to go into Genesis and go ahead and bring this out. Genesis 1 and 1, all right? Genesis 1 and 1, family. The earth is out formed and void, and darkness upon the face of the deep. And the ruach of Allah moved on the face of the water. And Allah said, let there be light. And there was light. And Allah saw the light, that it was good. And Allah divided the light from darkness. And Allah called the light day, and darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Now we see how you say the evening. Our Friday begins at evening when the sun go down, okay? Say evening in the morning was the first day. It didn't say it was Sunday. It didn't say Monday. He said evening in the morning was the first day. Now we see that our days begin at evening, all right? We're going to keep going. We're going to let the scripture bear this truth to us, okay? It says, and Allah said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let them divide the waters from the water. Allah made the firmament and divided the waters that was under the firmament from the waters which was above the firmament, and it was so. And Allah called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning was the second day. So how he's counting days by numbers. He's not saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, second. He's not saying none of that. He's giving us numbers, okay? We're at 9, Genesis 1 and 9. And Allah said, let the waters under heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And Allah called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the seas of the water he called seas. And Allah saw that it was good. And Allah said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb and yielding seed, and fruit tree yield fruit after his kind, and whose seed is in itself. And the earth upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb and yield seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Allah saw that it was good. In the evening, in the morning, with the third day. So we see the counts coming out of how he's saying a third, fourth day. He's not saying no Monday, Tuesday, none of that, right? We're at 13. In the evening and the morning was the third day. And Allah said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven, divide the light from day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Allah made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Allah set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule the day, and to rule over the night. And he divided the light from the darkness. And Allah saw that it was good. In the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And this is the fourth day. And it said nothing about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? And Allah said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and the fowls that flieth above the earth, the open firmament of heaven. And Allah created the great whales, and every living creature that moveth upon the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, every winged fowl after his kind. And Allah saw that it was good. And Allah blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply in the waters and the seas, and let the fowls multiply in the earth. In the evening and the morning were the 5th day. Okay, that he's by numbers. All right. And Allah said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, the cattle, creeping things, and the beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And Allah made the beasts of the earth after his kind, the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after their kind. Allah saw that it was good. Allah said, let us make man in our image and our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, over the cattle, and over all that moveth upon it, on the creeper thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Allah created man in his own image, and in the image of Allah created he him, male and female, and created he them. Allah blessed them, said, be unto them, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And Allah said, behold, I have given you every herb, every seed, which upon the face of the earth, every tree, which is the fruit of the tree that yields seed to you, it shall be for meat. Every beast of the earth, every fowl of the air, everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb of meat, and it was so. Allah saw everything he had made, behold, is very good. In the evening and the morning was the 6th day. Now we're all the way up to the 6th day. How he did all this work, okay? And with the 6th day, we don't see nowhere it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, okay? Now we're at Genesis 2 and 1. And this is the heaven and earth were finished, all the host of them. And on the Sabbath day, Allah ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the Sabbath day from all his work which he had made. And Allah blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that he had rested from all the work which Allah had created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that Allah, Allah made the earth and the heaven. Now he said he sanctified it, okay? And he blessed the seventh day. All these days he blessed one day. These days are still special, but they're not special in that one day that he gave you. Okay? Also like his name. There's only one name under heaven given among man which you can be saved, which is Joshua, okay? So our highest separated mean, Kodash means separated, mean holy, means set apart. So if you're judging every day and worshiping every day, praising every day, and you ain't got no one day separated, you out of order, okay? You're not doing the commandments of the higher Allah, right? Same thing with the name. You say he got many names that's not holy. Holy means set apart and separated, okay? And that's what he did for this Sabbath day, okay? And we're going to go to Exodus 21. We'll go to the law record. Exodus 21 is also one of the beginning of our knowledge, okay, from my father, Allah Ahaya, okay? Exodus 21, we'll read all the way to 8. Allah spoke these words, saying, I am Ahaya, that brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any image, any likeness, anything that is in the heaven above. Again, remember, the moon, the sun, all this is form of worship, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll read it again. Thou shalt not have no God before me. Thou shalt not make to thee any graven images, anything, any likeness of anything that's in the heaven above, or that's in the earth beneath, or that in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. I hide that Allah is a jealous Allah. Visiting naked of the father upon the children, upon the third and to the fourth generation of them that hate me. Show mercy 1,000 that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Ahaya Allah in vain. Ahaya will not hold him guiltless and not take his name in vain. Okay? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Now Ahaya is saying, remember his Sabbath day and keep it holy. Okay? Holy means set apart, means Kodash, right? Now, before then, he told you about his name. Before the Sabbath day, he said, thou shalt not take my name. So we need to know what the name is, not take his name, okay? I know a lot of brothers say that, I don't want you to know that name. If you say that name, you get it right. We don't perish. It's not. No, I never said that. I said my name is dreadful among the heathens. He didn't say his name is dreadful from Yahshua, because he said my people is called by my name. We're called by his name, okay? We're called by a higher name. So he's not telling us, yes, his name is dreadful to the heathen, but his name is salvation to us. So we better call that name for salvation, for security, for insurance and all that, because that's our security, that's our insurance, that's our battle, that's our weapon of war, all right? He said again, he said, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Now we're going to read the Sabbath day laws, okay, to understand, because we're in law right now. When we get into the New Testament, we'll break down the New Testament when Mashiach came, okay? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. What is holy? You got to separate this day from all other days. I know a lot of Christians say, oh, well, we worship on Sunday because that's the day Mashiach risen from the dead. No, but did he tell you to worship him on the day that he risen? Well, again, he said about his father's Sabbath day, right? He said, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the Sabbath day is the Sabbath of Ahaya Allah. In it thou shalt do any work. Thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, nor thy maidservant, that thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that are within thy gates. For in 6 days Ahaya made heaven and earth and the sea, all that's in them is, and he rested on the Sabbath day. Wherefore Ahaya blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Okay, hallowed means set apart. Okay, so ain't no other day special than the Sabbath day, because he made it holy. All right, don't you take it upon yourself and say, well, Wednesday is never study, or Thursday. No, that's not what Ahaya said. He said the Sabbath day. All right, he said, for in 6 days Ahaya made the heaven and earth and the sea, all that's in them is, and rested on the Sabbath day. Wherefore Ahaya blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that they may be long on the land which Ahaya that Allah giveth thee. Okay, family? All right, we're going to keep going. And I want to say something before we go to the next scripture. The Sabbath day is like a fast from all other days that we defile ourselves with the world, to cleanse ourselves, like making an atonement to keep going and keep that faith and keep that strength. And say it again, Sabbath is like an atonement, atoning yourself from, it's like a fast. It's like separating yourself to gain your strength again, because through the week we get burnt out, we get beat up, we get talked about, we get persecuted, we get all that during the week. It's not, we can come together and regain our strength on the Sabbath day by separation, okay? Same thing like, what's his name, Estrada's Ezra. He left from Yahshua. He said he got to separate himself. Enoch, he had to separate himself I know Moses plenty of time wanted to separate himself from Yasharala, but I had put him right there to keep him, okay? But he had to have mercy on Moses because Moses had so much, so much going on in his life trying to raise Yasharala. It's not a day like a high city stiff-necked backslide generation even to this day, okay? So again, the Sabbath is like a fast, Sabbath like a tone to rebuild our strength again to go back and fight a battle, okay? It's like a day of rest or fight. It's not, it's because of higher rest that he created all this stuff for us to have that pleasure after that, okay? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to regain our strength also, okay? Now we're going to go to Exodus 3:35 and 1. All right. We're going to read the 3. All right. Moses gathered all the congregation of Yahshua's family. Ain't no other nation. None of that. This scripture talking straight to Yahshua, okay? Moses gathered all the congregation of Yahshua together and said unto them, these are the words which the higher commanded that ye should do. 6 days shall ye work be done, but on the Sabbath day ye shall be unto you as a holy day. So he separated a day, right? A Sabbath of rest into a higher. Whosoever doth any work therein shall be put to death. Ye should kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the Sabbath day. So scripture saying you should not kindle any fire. Okay. I'm going to say it again. Scripture says you should not kindle any fire. I'm going to highlight this, okay? Because this is the strength of our topic today, okay? The air, okay? We got a, how you say it, category, all right, or breaking down, right? And I'm going to say some stuff, of course, killing fire, because how you say it, don't kill no fire on the Sabbath day, right? Okay, we got barbecue. We know that we can't go out there and barbecue on the grill on the Sabbath day, right? We got cooking on the stove. We know we can't cook on the stove on the Sabbath day, okay? Lighting a candle. We know we can't light a candle on the Sabbath day, okay? Smoking cigarettes or anything, okay? You smoking herb, whatever you want to call it, this and that, whatever, that's killing the fire, right? Okay? Cigarette lighters, matches, that's killing the fire, okay? All this is a total no. I'm saying it again from D.O.C. All this is total no. I'm going to read it again, okay? Baking, barbecuing, it's total no-no because you're killing the fire, okay? Cooking on a stove, it's total no. Okay, that's killing on fire, right? Lighting a candle, that's totally no, okay? Smoking cigarettes, cigars, whatever you smoke, that's totally no, because you gotta stick that match to light that fire, okay? To puff that cigarette, all right? Cigarette lighters, matches, that's a total no, okay? I'm gonna read it again. You should not kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the Sabbath day. Habitation means anywhere you at, all right? Now, I got some question mark on some stuff that I want you guys to see also in this category, okay? Now, a lot of us may do this out of ignorance, a lot of us do it, but a lot of Yahshua are going to try to condemn you for doing certain things, and they also breaking the Sabbath day, okay? Now, I'm going to name these off, okay? Microwave, okay? I don't really know how a microwave works. I got an idea how it works, but microwave, okay? Can we use a microwave on the Sabbath day, as in killing the fire, all right? Cooking on a stove, okay? No, I mean driving a car. A lot of people think, okay, you're driving a car, you just driving a car. But no, it's stuff about driving a car that you're igniting fire, okay? But I'm gonna get into that later. Okay, iron the clothes with an iron. Okay, you iron, you get your pants, your Sabbath day coming. You didn't do your preparation, you behind this next for the Sabbath morning or the Sabbath night when the sun comes go down and catches you. You get your iron, you plug it up. Iron get hot. I ain't got steam coming from it, okay? Get the iron, you iron your clothes, this and that, this and that. A lot of Israelites do that. Is that lawful? Okay, but we're gonna break down that today, okay? Central air and heat. Now for the one when it's cold, wintertime, okay? Again, you got your heater, you run your heater. That's fire, okay? That's hot. We don't feel it. But it have to get real hot to heat your whole house, okay? That's hot, so it's just, can we do this, all right? We got hot showers. A lot of people take hot showers. They don't know that you got a heating core. You got I forgot what you call it. But anyway, you got it's like a stove. It's like a stove eye. It sits inside the water to boil that water to get hot. So every time you take a hot shower, you ignite that. So everybody turn on that hot, you turn it on. Okay, same thing striking the match. Okay, when you get in your car, you turn that ignition on. Same thing. You're killing a fire in that car. Okay, but also I'm gonna say something before we go on about Marshall mercy, okay? Marshall mercy. Marshall have mercy on us, because we are in the land of our captivity, okay? I'm saying it again, we are in the land of our captivity, all right? So how can we keep Sabbath holy to 100%, all right? How you say I'd rather have mercy than sacrifice, okay? This, that, whatever. And he said, Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, okay? I'm going to read the top words again. He said, breaking down the categories, okay? Barbecue, we know that's a totally no kindle of fire, because scripture says, if you keep it real and you be real from your heart, it says you should not kindle no fire throughout your inhabitation upon the Sabbath day. So what's kindling fire? This is straightforward to you. It's straightforward because he said don't kindle fire. So we kindle fire, we know that barbecue, that's totally kindling fire, right? Cooking on the stove, we know that's so hot. You see it's very hot. You gotta that's the stove is hot. You can't even touch it. So we know that's kindling fire, okay? Lighting a candle, you know that's automatically kindling fire, right? Okay, smoking cigarettes or anything, okay? You know when you strike that match, you actually see it, whatever, and you're actually seeing it, okay? Cigarette lighter, you know that when you're setting your car, you gotta mash that button in, and when it turns fire red hot, you take it and burn that cigarette, striking a match. You know that's kindling fire, right? But now again, back to the microwave, okay? That's a question mark, okay? Driving a car, another question mark. We know what these things do, but there's still a question mark for people that do them. And all Yashua is gifted for driving a car. You said again. All Yashua is gifted for driving a car. All Yashua is gifted for turning on that heater in the winter. All Yashua is gifted for taking a hot shower on the Sabbath day. So we can't judge one another. Again, Marshall said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for Sabbath. He said he is Marshall over the Sabbath day, okay? And like I said, we gotta understand this. This teaching us today, not to point fingers at everybody. If you're driving a car, stop pointing fingers at it. If you're taking a hot shower, stop pointing fingers. This and that, whatever, people doing certain things. But again, if you're barbecuing, if you're cooking on the stove, if you're lighting a candle, if you're smoking a cigarette, lighting a cigarette in the car, that's all kindling fire, okay? Again, we're all guilty of driving a car. We're all guilty of driving a car, because I want you guys to see the clip I got on. Spark plugs create the spark that starts the engine of gasoline cars. To start a gasoline car, you need a spark. This happens inside of the cylinder, and the spark plugs are the ones that create it. Spark plugs are only used in auto cycle engines, which are usually called gasoline engines. Okay, family? Reason why I read this for you guys to understand that on the Sabbath day, okay, for the Yasharala that condemn other Yasharala and says, okay, we're not keeping the day holy, you're not keeping the day holy. Okay, but the spark plugs creates fire and gas takes to run a car. So everybody that drives a car, that's a question mark. Are we keeping that day holy by driving a vehicle, okay? I'm going to show you the designs of this spark plugs also. All right. Now this is a spark, okay? This is a spark. Also, you need gas for your nights the car to make the car move and go. All right. This is a spark. This is a spark of fire. All right. You need a spark plug. You also need gas, right? That spark plug sparks a fire, and you got gas that's running the car. Now, this is not the only case that we in question mark about 7 days should we drive vehicles, okay? It's not whatever, but I know because of my shop mercies on us through all this, okay? But for the ones that don't know and don't understand, okay, also you got a cigarette lighter in the same vehicle, okay? Cigarette lighter, okay, that's a total no-no because that's lighting a cigarette, okay? You cannot use a cigarette lighter, okay? Also, you have the heater in the car, okay? Now, is it lawful for you to run your heater? These are the questions that we're gonna talk about today. All right, Shalom family. That to break down about cars, how a lot of people don't know how does a car run. Again, a car runs off of gas and a spark. That's what spark plugs comes from, right? Let's say how many cylinders are on your car. They actually cylinder what the cylinder means. How many cylinders? How many spark plugs? You got a 9 cylinder, 10, whatever it is. That's how many spark plugs you need to run your car by the power and speed that you have. All right, and that's a spark plug. All right. All right. Like I said again, also like in your shower, your shower, you got a heat core. You have a heat core, and it sets inside your hot water heater. That get hot. It got to get so hot. You got so many tons of water that heat core have to boil. You have to boil that water to get hot for you to take a hot shower. Also, that same heat strip, heat core is also in the AC unit. Same thing. We turn on heat in winter. It's got to get your whole house warm. So that thing got to get real hot to warm up your house. Okay. So again, we got to think about martial mercy. Okay. We're gonna keep going. And we're gonna go to the part where buying and selling. Buying and selling. Okay. We know Yasharala, but when we were asleep, every Saturday we get paid on Friday. That's what they pay you on Friday. So you got to file yourself on the Friday. Okay. You got them buy clothes, buy shoes, buy this, go out to eat because you just got your paycheck. You spend all your money, this, that, whatever. But we're gonna go into Nehemiah real quick. And I have another question. I know people ask me a question about this one. Okay. Buying and selling. The Bible says no buying and selling, right? It's strict to tell you. That's why I say the Bible is straightforward with you. You don't have to add to or take away from it. It said no buying and selling in the Bible, right? But then, can we pay bills on the Shabbat day? Paying the bills is not buying and selling. Okay, let me say it again. Paying your bills is not buying and selling. That's paying your bills. All right. So I don't do it because it's like I don't need to do any spending or anything on that day because I could do it on that preparation day before the sun go down. So I'm just on that. But if you had a mercy that you had to, I think Marshall mercy is on you because it does not say that you cannot pay your bills. Okay, it says that no buying or selling. All right. But we're gonna go to Nehemiah 13 or 15 and get an understanding on buying and selling. All right. Nehemiah and law. Okay. And we're going to start at 14. Remember me, this is Nehemiah talking to Allahaya. Remember me concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my Allah, for the office thereof. In those days I saw Judah, some treading the winepress on the Sabbath day, bringing in shaves and laden and asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, all manner of burden, which is brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testify against them that day wherein they sold vegetables. Now we know Jehudah, Judah, we the main ones go out there. You on the Sabbath day, you want to go out there and sell barbecue, you want to go out there and sell clothes, you want to go wash cars, you want to go all this. We guilty of that. Right now, we're in stores right now. All Yasharala is in stores right now buying and selling, okay? And it basically singles out Judah, Yehuda, okay? He says again, he said, in those days saw I Yehuda, some treading the winepress on the Sabbath day, bringing in shaves and laden asses, and also wine, grapes, and figs, all manner of burden, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in that day where they sold vegetables. And there dwelt a man of Tyre also, which bought fish and all manner of work, children of Yehuda, and in Jerusalem. So we know that all these Korean stores, these Moab, Ammon, all these stores, this and that, they're known for selling that stuff. We know Yasharala is known for going and buying on the Sabbath day, right? Then I contended with the nobles of Yehuda and said to them, what evil thing is this that ye do, profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus did not our Allah bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Yasharala by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants said I at the gate, that there should no burdens be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants, all the sellers, and all kinds of were lodged without the gate of Jerusalem. This is the same thing that we're doing today. We just want to go buy something. We have to go spend that money. That money in our pocket, we got to go out there. We go out there and buy something. This and that, whatever. That's how we are. That's why I say sent by this. How you going to be holy when you just keep the following? You ain't got no day, no set apart day to worship a higher Allah, right? Then I testified against them and said to them, why lodge ye here at the wall? If you do so again, I will lay my hands on you. From that time forth they came no more on the Sabbath. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath. Remember me, O higher Allah, concerning this also, and spare me according to the gathered greatness of thy mercy. In those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon and of Moab, and the children spoke half the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked out their hair, and I made them swear by Allah, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters into your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, the king of Yasharallah, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved in his Allah, and Allah made him king over all Yasharallah. Nevertheless, even him did our outlast woman cause to sin. Now this is how easy it is to go out there. You get your money, you go get poisoned with the world. You ain't got no set apart day to get holy. To separate yourself in class and see, wait a minute, why am I separating myself? That's to get cleansed from all that wickedness and make you strong the next day for the next week, okay? We're going to keep going. We're going to go to Isaiah 66:23. Isaiah 66:23. And it reads, And it shall come to pass that from the new moon to another, from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come and worship before me, saith the highest. Now, highest said everybody, Yasharallah, supposed to come worship before him on the Sabbath day. The reason why I'm having this read, because a lot of Christians be like, oh, well, we worship the day that he risen, the first day of the week. That's day number one. This is a Sabbath day. How just said his Sabbath day. That law would never change. Not in New Testament, not in no other testament, whatever, that law would never change. Masha didn't come and do away with the Sabbath. He come to fulfill the Sabbath, right? So he come and bring that Sabbath to even so-called Christians. You don't call yourself a Christian, you let you call yourself a Christian, but he came to do his Father's will on the Sabbath day, all right? And it reads again, And it shall come to pass that from the new moon to another, from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come and worship before me, saith the highest. So this is the day of the Sabbath day that he want everybody to come worship. You can't make it not the first day, not the second day, not the third day. None of those days are holy. He said from Sabbath to Sabbath, okay, come and worship before him, all right? And we on Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58:12. And they that shall build of the build old waste places, thou shalt raise up the foundation of many generations. Thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of the path that dwell in. If thou turn away thy foot from my Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath day a delight, holy of a high honorable, thou shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, not finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. Now, when you got the pastors in the church preach John 3:16, this not. Then the whole rest of this Sunday they preach their own words. I say don't speak your own words, not do your own pleasure. Watching TV is your own pleasure, okay? Because you're not studying, okay? Not as you studying something that you're using the TV to study, that's fine. But if you actually just watching for your own personal pleasure, that's a sin, okay? That's going against the highest sin. It says again, 13, Isaiah 58:13. If thou turn away thy foot from my Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy to honor, higher, honorable, thou shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. Again, I'm going to have to say this because a lot of y'all don't know this. Having sex is your own pleasure with your wife. You cannot have sex on the Sabbath day, all right? Anything that's your pleasure, you should not do on the Sabbath day. That's not worship my higher on that day, all right? And in all things that's your own personal pleasure, that's going against what the higher said. He said, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, or holy to a higher. Honorable, thou shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, not finding thy own pleasure, not speaking thy own words. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the higher. And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the inheritance of your cold, thy father, for the mouth of a higher has spoken it. All right. Now you see how you get your blessings is keep the Sabbath day, keep it holy. All right. But you got to realize that Mashiach mercy came up with his mercy, because he was over the Sabbath. Mashiach higher sent him to be over the Sabbath day, so he came to bless us, okay, in the Sabbath day and show us how to do it correctly, okay. He came to confirm the covenant with everybody that our forefathers, or not according to the Pharisees, Sadducees, hypocrites, which put a heavy burden on you. Right now they tell you, oh, brother, you ain't keeping the Sabbath day, this and that, you ain't doing this and that, this and that, but they driving a car just like you, okay. Just think about it now, okay. They doing this and that just like you, but then they don't think about their own wrong, right? But today we're going to bring out Mashiach mercy that he has on us, okay? We're going to go to Matthew. We're going to go to the New Testament, which is called the known covenant, all right? We're going to go to, I'm going to say law 2. Law 2, because this is also the law. Law is not done away with, okay? Law 2. All right, Matthew 12:1. Matthew 12:1. And we're going to read to 13. And we're going to say that they're going to try to condemn Mashiach with the laws according to the Sabbath. At that time, Yeshua went on the Sabbath day through the corn. His disciples were hungry and began to pluck the ears of corn to eat. But the Pharisees saw it, and they said to him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. He said to them, Have ye not read what David did when he was a hunger, and that they which were with him, how he entered into the house of Allah and did eat the shewbread which is not lawful for them to eat, neither was they which were with him, but only for the priests? Or have you not read in the law how that they on the Sabbath day and the priests of the temple profaned the Sabbath and were blameless? What Mashiach is saying is that David was a hunger. It was not lawful to eat the shewbread in the sanctuary because that bread is holy. But because they were hungry, his mercy was upon them. I'm going to say it again. Because they were hungry, his mercy was upon them, all right? But I say unto you that this place is one greater than the temple. If you had known this, what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not have sacrifice. You will have not condemned the guiltless. So this class is there for you when you condemn the guiltless. For y'all feel like they condemn you. Oh, brother, you can't do that. You're wrong. Oh, brother, they got to look at themselves. Mashiach mercy is on us, okay? We're in the land of our captivity, okay? Can we keep the Sabbath holy? Can we keep the Sabbath holy? We do our best, all right? He says, But ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice. You will have known, not condemn the guiltless. For the Sabbath, the Son of Man is Yasha, even of the Sabbath day. So Mashiach came to be over the Sabbath day. Who are you to tell us what to do or how to do it? Besides Mashiach, all right? And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. And behold, there was a man that had a hand withered. And he asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they might accuse him. He said to them, What man should there be among you that shall have one sheep, and it fall into the pit? And on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it up out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore is it lawful to do well on the Sabbath day? And Mashiach says, it's lawful to do well. You can do good on the Sabbath day. Okay. We had an incident. We was at the Shabbat one time that this holy person was hungry. This and that. Well, we ain't had no food to give them because we ain't bring no food with us. So yes, sister went to the store and bought him something to eat, whatever, and gave him that, whatever, this, that, whatever, gave him the money, whatever it may be. That was a mercy. That was not breaking the Sabbath. They was hungry. This and that. They wanted food. This and that, whatever. We didn't have no food with us. We didn't have no food to give them right away. This and that, whatever. But the sister went straight to the store and got him something to eat and fed the hungry person. It's not. I don't see a law against that. That's mercy on the Sabbath day, right? Then he said to him, The man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched forth, and it will restore a whole like the other. All right? Not only Mashiach doing such things, but Pharisees saying it's not lawful to do, but he healing on the Sabbath day, and he can bless on the Sabbath day. Now, how can he bless him on the Sabbath day if he's going against the law? He's not going to confuse him. He's not going to give Mashiach the power to do something against him. He's not going to bless him and heal nobody on the Sabbath day because against the law. He won't participate in that. So that lets you know that it's not against the law, all right? We're going to go to Matthew 28:1. Matthew 28. Matthew 28:1. Now it reads, "In the end of the Sabbath began to dawn the first day of the week." And we see that even in the second law, I'm going to call it New Testament second law, that he says, again, it said, the end of the Sabbath, as it begins to dawn for the first day of the week. Now the Bible is telling you, even the second law, which is the New Testament, that the first day of the week, that's day one. So that means Sunday is day one. It's not the Sabbath day, okay? All right? It said, the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and other Mary seen the sculpture, okay? Do I read all of this? Nope. We're going to go to Mark 15:42. Mark 15:42. And it said, "Now when evening was come, because it was preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath." Now remember, it's preparation. You have to prep. How many of us do we prep for the Sabbath day? Prepping to me on the Sabbath when I get off work, that Friday evening, so called, I'm going to say that, that sixth day. When I get off work that sixth day, I go get all my bills paid if I got bills to pay. I get all my food cooked. I get all my clothes ready. I have everything ready. I have my sparry all buckled up ready. This and that. I have all my stuff ready for the preparation for that day. And when the sun going down that day, now I'm ready. I'm just ready to rest. I don't want to have to do nothing. I'm not going to do nothing unless I have to. Other than that, I'm in rest mode for the Sabbath day, okay, to keep it holy, right? He said, "Now when evil had come, because it was preparation of the Sabbath day, before the Sabbath, Joseph and Maria and the honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of Allah, came and went, behold, but boldly unto Pilate, and craved the body of Messiah. And Pilate marveled if it were already dead, and calling unto him the centurion, he asked him whether he had been dead. When he knew it of the centurion, he gave him the body to Joseph. He brought fine linen, and took him down, and wrapped him in the linen, and laid him in the sepulchre, which he hewn out of the rock, and rolled the stone unto the door of the sepulchre. And Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of Joseph, behold, where he laid." I'm going to read 16. "When the Sabbath was past," and when the Sabbath was past, you got to think about this. They said this, when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James, Salome, had brought sweet spices, they might come to anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre in the rising of the sun. So this is saying that, like, people have furniture on the Sabbath day. They didn't even go to where Mashiach was on the Sabbath day. They rested on the Sabbath day. Then they went back to the first day of the week. So this is letting you know that that's an error in having furnace on the Sabbath day. They did not go see Mashiach on the Sabbath day. They rested on the Sabbath day. Then they went to the first day of the week and read it again. When the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome had brought sweet spices, they might come to anoint him. And they would come to anoint Mashiach, okay, after the Sabbath. Okay, they didn't go on the Sabbath, right? To anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came into the sepulchre as the rising of the sun. All right? So this is a question mark on having a funeral on the Sabbath day. Yahshua didn't do that. That's from a pagan thing, all right? We're going to keep going. Mark 15. Where we at? Mark 16, 15, 16. We're at Mark 2:23. Mark 2:23, we'll read 28. "And it came to pass that he went through the cornfields in the Sabbath day, and the Sabbath began as they went to pluck the ears of the corn. And the Pharisees said unto him, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day do that which is not lawful? He said to them, Have you not read when David did when he had need, there was a hunger, and they that were with him, how they went into the house of Allah, in the day of Abathar, and the high priest did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful to eat, but for the priests who gave also to them that were with him. And he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So Mashiach is saying the Sabbath was made for us, not man for the Sabbath. So this day was given to us for worship and for praising the higher, and praise the higher name, to give us rest and separate us to atonement, to fast, away from all other days, right? He said, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is Yahshua of the Sabbath. So Mashiach is over the Sabbath. That's when we read earlier about the driving a car, the taking a hot bath, the ironing your clothes, and stuff like that. The question mark stuff. Isn't that what all? That's mercy, because we don't know when the land of our captivity. But when you kill a fire and you know it, to me, when you kill a fire, you know it, you're guilty. When you turn on a hot stove and you see that red burning light, you're guilty. I see Israelites saying we don't eat cereal. That's why we eat cereal this and that, but they get in their car and crank it up. They turn on their microwave. Then they say they're holy and all this and that and that. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying Mashiach mercy, because we don't know. A lot of stuff that we doing out of ignorance that we don't know, all right? But let's examine it. Let me say, examine yourself. That's like the Last Supper said, examine yourself before you do the Last Supper. Don't just do the Last Supper, examine yourself, all right? Where is that? Mashiach said, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is Yahshua also of the Sabbath day, all right? Mark 3:1, and we're going to read to 5. He entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man which had a withered hand, and they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. Same way they would try to accuse Mashiach, they would try to accuse us. And he said to the man which had a withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto him, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath day, or to do evil, to save a life, or to kill? But they held their peace. We had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their heart. He said unto the man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched forth it out, and his hand was restored to hold that same hour. So it was condemning Mashiach for healing on the Sabbath day. Say you can't heal on the Sabbath day. He told one dude when he healed him, take up your bed and walk. Now Mashiach is over the Sabbath day. He came with his mercy. Right? He came with his mercy. What is mercy? Do y'all want mercy? No, we want to keep condemning people, all right? Knocking people down, all right? That's what y'all should ought to do. That's what we're good at doing. Luke 23. Luke 23, family. We're at 23, 54. And the day was the preparation, the Sabbath drew nigh. So again, the preparation for Gentiles, for Christians, and Yahshua that's just waking up. Preparation is the day that we prep for the Sabbath day, before the Sabbath come, okay? And this in Scripture, this in Second Law, okay? My new name for the New Testament, Second Law, okay? It says, and that day was preparation for the Sabbath drew nigh. The woman also which came with him from Galilee followed after him behind the sepulchre, how his body was laid, and they returned and prepared spices and ornament and rested on the Sabbath day according to the commandments. Now, what commandments they did is according to law, first law, right? They went, it said, and they returned and prepared spices and ornament and rested on the Sabbath day according to the commandment. Now, 24. Now, on the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came to the sepulchre, bringing spices which they had prepared for certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away, the sepulchre, and they entered in and found not the body of Mashiach. And it came to pass that they were much perplexed that about it. Behold, two men stood by them in shining garments, and they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the earth. They said unto them, why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but he is risen. Remember how he spoke unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of the sinful man and be crucified, and the third day rise again. So this third day was on a Sunday. Got a lot of Christians say we worship the day he was risen, but no, that's not the day he keep that Sabbath day holy, right? These numbers will never change, man. That's one thing about numbers. You can never change numbers. That's why how you do it with numbers so much, okay? He gave us a Sabbath day when he created everything from first day, second day, third day, fourth day. These numbers just keep going. And you can easily count back to first day, all right? Day one. This is how you can't get the Sabbaths confused, okay? Because the numbers, you cannot change the number. How you going to skip a day and change the day? They can change time all they want, but these days, the numbers are going to stay the same. Right now, you could go buy a house and your mama buy a house and you were first born. How hard is that to remember that to find out the number that day according to your birth? That's easy. What year you were born? It goes easy from the day to way back then. I was born in 68. You go all the way back to 68. That's 56 years ago. Right? 68. It's easy with numbers. But names and titles and stuff like that, you can lose that in a minute because names and everything can be changed. You can't change numbers. The whole Hebrew alphabet is based on numbers. That's why how your name won't be Yod, Hey, Bob, Hey. You won't have nothing to do because that's like the 6th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. He's going to be an alpha, the mega, the beginning, and the end, aleph. First letter in the alphabet means number 1. He's always going to be that number 1. All right? Let's keep going. We're going to read Luke 24:1. We read that. It says, now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning came up the discoverers could bring the spices that they had prepared for certain of them. I'll go a little bit, we'll go to the law real quick. Leviticus 23:1. Leviticus 23:1. It says, Moses, on the highest spoken to Moses, saying, speak to children of Yasharah, and saying to them concerning the feast of Ahiyah, ye shall have it proclaimed to be a holy convocation, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, and the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest, or holy convocation. Ye shall do no several work therein. It's the Sabbath of Ahiyah in all your dwellings. So we know that the Sabbath will be no matter where you at. But how you know in the land of our captivity, we can't keep the Sabbath pure and clear, but we do the best we can, okay, with our knowledge and knowing these scriptures, okay. Again, family, like I said, I love y'all. Pray that y'all got some out of this day. The ones that didn't know that you do know. But we're gonna go to Colossians 2:16. Colossians in second law 2:16. Colossians family 2:16. And it reads, let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of a holy day, or in a new moon, or the Sabbath day. So Paul is saying, don't let nobody judge you on the Sabbath day. Are they going to talk about us? They're going to say what they're going to say. Let them talk. It says, let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of a holy day. It says a holy day, not a holiday. Or in the new moon, or in the Sabbath day, all of which is a shadow of things to come, but the bodies of Mashiach. So by doing this rehearsal, Sabbath day is like a rehearsal that we're doing until Mashiach come back in the kingdom, because we'll have to still keep these feasts and the Sabbath days in the kingdom. He says, which are the shadow of things to come, but the body is of Mashiach. Let no man beguile you through the war of vainglory and humility of worshiping of angels, introducing of those things which had been not seen, rarely puffed up by the fleshly mind, not holding the head from which all the body's joints or bands having nourishment ministers and knitting together increase with Allah increase of Allah. Wherefore ye be dead with the Mashiach from the rudiments of this world. Why, as though living in the world, are ye subjected to the ordinance? We don't even supposed to be in the ordinance of the world. Touch not, taste not, handle not, which all are with the parents with the using, after the commandments and doctrines of man, which are things have indeed issue of wisdom, and will worship in humility and neglecting of the body, not in any honor and sacrifice of the flesh. If ye be risen with Mashiach, seek those things which are above, where Mashiach sits on the right hand of Allah. Set your affection on things above, not on the things on the earth. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Mashiach in Allah. When Mashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Mortify therefore the members which are upon this earth: fornications, uncleanness, adultery, effeminate, evil, commissions, covetousness, and adultery. For which things sake the wrath of Allah cometh on the children of disobedience, in which ye also walked in time past when ye lived in them. But ye now also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man, which is with his deeds, and have put on a new man, which is renewed in the knowledge after the image of him that created him. All praise to the high family. Again, this D.O.C. I pray y'all got some out of this class today. This might have been a little short class, but I had to do this about the Sabbath because a lot of us don't know the Sabbath, and my minister is when I'm talking to people. I'm ministering to them again. But before I close out, I'd like to give a shout out to my brothers. Brother Nazareth, shout out to you, brother. Love you, brother. Stay strong, brother, in this walk, brother. Brother Maurice, love brother, stay strong in his walk. Brother Johnny, stay strong out there, brother. I know we're going through a lot that we can do better by sticking together. Brother James, stay strong. I know we all say the same thing about our walk in the world, it's that whatever, but our communion and coming together in love for our highest and Mashiach, the set apart name and set apart day. I love all y'all. Today's topic again was Saturday and Shabbat day versus the Sabbath day against the Saturday, okay? Sabbath was made by man, given to us by man for pagan worship. Shabbat day was given for our higher honor for holiness and cleansing and separation, okay? For this D.O.C., I love y'all. I pray y'all got something out of it. Shabbat shalom. Love it. Enjoy the rest of y'all. Shabbat. D.O.C. out.